Hello everyone, and welcome back to Speak and Grow English. Let me ask you something. Have you ever watched an English video and understood almost everything, but when someone asked you to speak English, you suddenly became silent? If that has happened to you, don't feel discouraged. You're not the only one. Millions of English learners around the world face the same challenge every day. They can understand English, enjoy English movies, and follow podcasts. But when it's time to speak, the words seem to disappear. Why does this happen? The answer is actually very simple. Understanding English and speaking English are two different skills. Think about learning to drive a car. You can read the traffic rules. You can watch driving videos on YouTube. You can even memorize every road sign. But will that make you a confident driver? No, you only become a good driver when you sit behind the wheel and practice. Speaking English works exactly the same way. Listening teaches your brain to recognize English. Speaking teaches your brain to create English. Many learners spend hours every day watching English videos. They learn grammar. They memorize vocabulary. They read English books. All of these activities are useful. But there's one thing missing. They don't speak enough. Imagine spending 6 months learning how to swim by reading books. You know every technique. You understand every rule. But you never enter the water. Will you become a swimmer? Of course not. Knowledge is important. But practice is what builds skill. The same is true for English. You don't become fluent by only learning. You become fluent by using what you learn. Another reason people struggle with speaking is fear. They are afraid of making mistakes. They think, what if my grammar is wrong? What if my pronunciation sounds funny? What if people laugh at me? These thoughts stop them before they even start speaking. But here's something interesting. Think about a child learning to speak. Children make mistakes every single day. Sometimes they pronounce words incorrectly. Sometimes they use the wrong grammar. But they never stop trying. And because they keep speaking, they keep improving. As English learners, we should have the same attitude. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Be afraid of missing the chance to practice. Every mistake teaches you something. Every sentence makes you a little stronger. Every conversation helps your brain become more comfortable with English. So instead of asking yourself, why can't I speak English? Ask yourself, how can I practice speaking today? That small change in mindset can completely change your learning journey. Now the question is, what can you do to become a better English speaker? The answer is not difficult. You don't need to study for 5 hours every day. You need to practice in a smart and consistent way. The first habit is simple. Speak English every day, even if it's only for 5 minutes. 5 minutes may not sound like much, but if you practice every day, your brain will slowly get used to using English. You don't need a classroom. You don't need a partner. You can start by talking to yourself. For example, while making breakfast, you can say, I'm making breakfast now. I need some bread and eggs. The coffee smells great today. These simple sentences may seem easy, but they help your brain think directly in English. The second habit is reading aloud. Many learners read silently. That improves reading, but it doesn't improve speaking very much. When you read aloud, your mouth practices the sounds. Your ears hear your voice, and your brain connects everything together. This is one of the easiest ways to improve pronunciation and speaking confidence. The third habit is to stop chasing perfection. Many learners stop speaking because they want every sentence to be perfect. But communication is much more important than perfection. Imagine you meet a tourist who speaks your language with a few mistakes. Will you laugh at them? Probably not. You'll appreciate their effort. English speakers usually feel the same way. They care more about understanding your message than hearing perfect grammar. So don't let perfection become your biggest obstacle. Another useful habit is listening carefully. Don't just listen for the meaning. Listen to how people speak. Notice their pronunciation. Notice their rhythm. Notice the expressions they use again and again. Then try to repeat those expressions in your own voice. Little by little, your speaking will become more natural. Now let me share one important truth. Fluent English speakers were not born fluent. They also forgot words. They also felt nervous. They also made mistakes. The only difference is that they didn't quit. They continued practicing, even when progress felt slow. Remember, learning a language is like planting a tree. You don't plant a seed today and expect a big tree tomorrow. You water it every day. You take care of it patiently. One day, without even realizing it, the tree becomes strong. Your English grows in the same way. Every sentence you speak is like watering that tree. Every day you practice, your confidence grows a little more. So today, make one simple promise to yourself. I will speak English every single day, no matter how many mistakes I make. If you keep that promise, your English will improve much faster than you think. Before we finish today's episode, I want you to remember one sentence. Fluency doesn't come from knowing more English. Fluency comes from using English more often. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Speak and Grow English. If you learned something new today, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. Together, we'll improve our English, one conversation at a time. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep growing. See you in the next episode.